People, here we go. We got day one. Day one. Shut up and write. Hey, just shut up and write. Okay? Now, of course I picked that because it's a nice title, but it really cuts to the quick of what we're trying to do here. Let me get a little sip. Happy day one, everybody. How you doing? Glad you're here. Glad you're fucking here. Okay? Now, like I said, the title, right? It's good writing in itself. Shut up and write. It's a command. It's catchy. It has a hook. It makes you interested. And it makes you want to come in and investigate. It piques your curiosity. Shut up and write about what? Why do I have to shut up? What's going on? Sounds like there's some kind of drama maybe. And everybody wants to see the drama. Everybody loves the drama. Okay? Now, first of all, check in with yourself. We do that every fucking time because the emotional, plumbing is so important. Okay? You can't do nothing if you're out of order, right? There's two things. There's order, there's chaos. There's two of them, right? That's the only two things that can exist. Order and chaos, all right? Everything is a continuum in between those 2 points. You want to be the most creative? Well, you have to bring the most amount of order into your life. And that includes your emotional and physical vessel that we are right now, okay? Now, I got the ravens out back, and I told you guys about that tree that knocked over in the big old storm. So they're back there building me a new fence. You know, they're cheaper than hiring people to do it. So I went ahead and got them to do it. Hey, they'll do it for table scraps. So that's what I do right there, okay? Now, think about what I just did there. I just made a playful little story, right? Out of some spontaneous things about issue with my fence with the ravens. I tied it all together. There's lore there, right? So there's a historical context with the relationship to this channel. It's comical, it's funny, and you can envision ravens in the backyard with a hammer and a skill saw putting up a fence and all arguing with each other, you know, about the right way or the wrong way to do it. That's hilarious right there, right? That's good writing. Okay, we're going to talk about that, how to do that. How do we go ahead and inject that into what we're trying to do, okay? Because great writing is a reflection of life. It has life in it. And terrible writing, which is like propaganda, sucks the life right out of you, puts you to sleep. You don't want that. I don't want that. Your reader doesn't want that, okay? So first of all, how you doing today? Check in. Is your fire stoked? Are you excited? Huh? It's day one. You should be excited. You should be stoked the fuck up. All right? You should be excited right now. It's day one. If you're not excited, check your pulse. Make sure you... Yeah, I'm still alive. Make sure you're still alive, okay, people? Check that pulse. All right? Now, if you're here, you want to write, you want to do creativity, there must be a reason. There must be something that you were drawn to and something that you also want to express. Okay? So what was it? What were you drawn to? What book? Huh? What story? Were they comic books? You know, was it the first issue of Wolverine? That's what it was for me. Was it Cyberfrog? Was it Isom? Was it the Maniac? Hey, Johnny Rocket's the Maniac's out there. Go back that. Johnny Rocket's a great writer. Okay. What was it? Was it some Bible story? You know, we're all told Bible stories when we're kids, or was it some other story? You know what I mean? What was it? Was it based upon a relationship? Like maybe your dad or your grandfather read you stories in bed. And so you grew to love stories because of that relationship, because it was based upon that relationship. And then as you got older and you went through school and you loved classic literature because it reminded you of that relationship, and it fostered this a nice seed bed of growth within your own, you know, who you are as a person. Maybe it's that. It could be a ton of things, right? So what is it for you? Okay, that's what this next 30 days is going to be about. It's going to be about digging through the bedrock of who we are as a person. When I say we, I'm saying you. I'm going to dig through me. You know, I can't dig through you. And that's one of the things we got to get out the way real quick. Real quick. You can't help nobody but yourself. Okay? That's just how it is. You can't do the digging in somebody else's heart for them. Right? You can only do the digging for you. Okay? So conserve all your energy. Dig for yourself. You know, so that you can have the tree that grows up inside of you provide abundance for your family and your loved ones. All right? So we got that out the way. So what are you stoked about? What are you stoked about? Do you have some stories that you're looking forward to? Maybe it was an anime that you got into that you were like, oh, I can't wait to watch whatever, whatever, whatever. You know, maybe it's the One Punch Man. Maybe it's One Piece. Maybe it's Dragon Ball Z. Maybe it was Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day. Maybe it was all that cards that you like to play. But whatever it was, think about it. Because that's a clue to direct you to harness your excitement and your true desire. And that's what we want to be after here and what we're going to write. Because if you don't write with that component, you're writing shit. Okay? I'm telling you right now, you're writing shit. And that brings us to the truth agreement that we made yesterday. Okay? Now, there ain't no such thing as a good faith critique or a bad faith critique. You know, you hear all of that going around right now, especially with that Dick Masterson thing with the Eric July and all that bullshit. And if you're not familiar with it, don't worry about it. Basically, somebody wrote a comic book. It was dog shit. Somebody else who was had a little bit of an internet following, Dick Masterson, wrote a great critique of it and gave it to him. And he said it's a bad faith critique, and he's not gonna pay attention to it because it was done in bad faith. Okay. Well, I got news for everybody out there. Okay. The intention of a critique matters not. Doesn't matter at all. Okay. Sometimes the best critiques or criticisms come from your enemy because they're really trying to get at you. They're really trying to hurt you, and they're looking for the most vulnerable point inside of you. And that most vulnerable point will show you where you have to mature, work harder, fix it, develop it, refine it, whatever it is, so that you can make it better. Okay? You know you're there when your enemies are like, well, I hate that motherfucker, but I can't argue that he's a good artist. I can't argue that he's a good writer because there's nothing to critique, right? And that's where we want to get to, okay? Because you know what? Like I liken it always back to the cocaine, right? It's always like the cocaine, okay, people? If you make a good product, it doesn't matter what church you go to, how much you cuss, it doesn't matter how wrong you do people, because you're always going to have customers. The customers are going to bring other customers, and they're going to support you based on your quality of work. Okay? So you make the best cocaine in the city, you're going to have a line out the door. Right? Bar none. Okay? So that's what we want to do. We're not interested in fame. We're not interested in some sort of title as a writer. Who gives a fuck about that? We're interested in creating life within pages. That's the real magic. How do you catch life and then put it in the pages, right? So that when somebody else reads it, that life jumps out of the pages and into them. That's a fantastic story. That's great writing, and that's what we're here to do. One of the things that I think about is the show Better Call Saul. You know, they wrote that one tremendous. That was a tremendous show. Okay, each one of the characters were just about fascinating, right? And of course, Breaking Bad was good too. But I think even better than Breaking Bad was Better Call Saul and how they wrote it. Tremendous. It was a tremendous story. Fucking love that story. And it was because they put so much realism, so much life. They were able to look inside and plumb the depths of humanity so well, even within themselves, that they could put it inside of the pages. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to get to. So, number one, are you stoked? If not, figure out what the fuck it is that you need to get stoked about and get there. That's your job. Job one, get stoked, okay? Get something that you're excited about related to writing or storytelling or something like that and get excited about it. Everybody loves media, entertainment, period. That's all there is to it, okay? Get excited about it. Get excited about sharing your story, okay? Number two, critical eye. You got to lock the critical eye in the basement. You got to keep the critical eye locked in the hole, because the critical eye wants to come up and it wants to wreck house and tell you that you suck, that you're not good at it. And it's something that everybody deals with, okay? Everybody except for psychopaths deal with the critical eye. And the reason why psychopaths don't deal with the critical eye is because they are the critical eye. They've been consumed by the critical eye, okay? They act in harmony with their critical eye. They have no empathy, right? So that there's no battle there. They're pure critical eye. Okay, so we got to lock that critical eye in the hole and only use him sparingly for certain things. We'll talk about that later, how to make you better. Okay, he is a tool to use. Once you've mastered the critical eye and you can keep him in his box and then pull him out when needed, then you can utilize it to make you better. Okay, so we're going to talk about that too. Okay, so you got that critical eye locked in the hole. The main tool that you use to keep the critical eye locked in the hole is impulse control. Okay. That's the lever. That's the direct mechanism to control the critical eye. Not right now, critical eye. I know you're going to tell me my writing's not good, but don't tell me right now. You're on a 30-minute timeout. Stay in the hole for 30 minutes. Let me finish the writing. Then you can come back and tell me it's not good. Okay? That's how you do it. And then once the 30 minutes are up, it doesn't matter. You're off and you're on to something new. You're doing something else. And the critical eye forgets about what he was doing. Critical eye don't have a great memory, okay, people? So that's how you do that. And if you didn't know, that's how you master everything, okay, with impulse control. Now, you want to eat that donut? Not now. I'll eat it in 15 minutes. Well, I went 15 minutes. I can wait another 15 minutes. Before you know it, it's a whole day you didn't eat no donuts. You got me? Or, you know, you got all them, you're going to the strip club, you got the hookers up there wanting to give you a lap dance. Not now. Next time. Next time. Next time. Then that's how you keep yourself from getting lap dances at the strip club. Okay, people? Now, impulse control is very important. It's a muscle that gets stronger as you use it. And when it comes to writing, everything that you write has a purpose. Okay? There's no incidental writing. There's no writing that you just throw out there willy-nilly. Because if you throw it out there willy-nilly, it is only noise. Okay? We're trying to make our story like a spear. Okay, a long point, nice and smooth, so it penetrates deep into the heart of our reader. Okay, the shaft is what's going to deliver the force to penetrate the spearhead. That's what we're trying to do. So you don't put any fucking noise in there. All right. Now, when I was taking classes in college, one of the best writing classes I ever took was technical writing for engineers. One of the best classes I ever took. Because during that entire course, we learned how to strip out everything that was non-essential from how we wrote. So that we only wrote what was essential to communicate the point. Okay? Now, we wrote a lot of technical documents, a lot of technical manuscripts, a lot of how to do this, a lot of, instruction sets for different products and whatnot and all that. So we're trying to communicate just to the point, nothing extraneous. Okay. Now this is important because what you're trying to do with your words is you're trying to fine tune through your words the emotional state of your reader. Okay. And if you go in there like a fucking drunk man, looking for the G spot, can't find it, you know what I'm saying? You're never going to get that orgasm, right? But if you go in there with a strategy, like you know what you're doing, all right? You're pushing the right buttons. You're getting that G-spot just right. You got that orgasm just like a symphony, right? Just reverberating and echoing and blah, 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 blah. And then after that has happened, after you deliver that massive symphony, that cacophony of orgasmic pleasure, you got yourself a guaranteed reader. You got yourself a repeat customer. Okay? And that's what we're all about. If people come to understand that you're the person who can deliver, which is so rare nowadays, everybody out there is all hype, right? No delivery, all tease, no substance, right? You want to bring that kilo of cocaine and have the guy take it and put it in his little thing and shake it up and it turns all the right colors and he looks at you and says, holy shit, this is 97% pure delivery right here. Can't believe it. I haven't seen it this good since the mountains of Colombia down there in Medellin, or how do they say it? Medellin. Ah. And that's what you want. Okay? That's what you want. And that's what we want to do. So it's very important that you learn that impulse control, that you learn to be stoked, okay? And that you go in there and you have a strategy and you know systematically exactly what you're going to do when you're writing, okay? This is the frame of mind that we're trying to get into, people. And in order to get there, we also have to get our emotional plumbing. We have to get emotionally ready. We have to prepare ourselves to write. You don't just sit there and driving on the car, smoking your cigarette. You know, you got your Five Guys or your In-N-Out burger, like, or your combo meal, your fries and everything sitting on the passenger seat, and you're like right there, and then you get your oh yeah, that's a good idea, I'm gonna write that, or you know, you don't want to do that. Now you can do that for just your ideas, but you don't want to do that when it comes to writing. Okay, you want to be methodical. You know, you want to be precise, like a surgeon in there, right? You want to be a surgeon, and you want to make it look so easy that people, it seems like butter, and people are like, it just flows off the tip of his pen. I don't understand how easy he's just a writing master. When little do they know that it's because you've been doing all this digging down in here. You've been getting all your plumbing right, and it's this big, huge system and this big, huge orchestra, you know, that you've orchestrated behind the scenes. Kind of like Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain. That's what we're doing right here. This is behind the curtain, people. So come on, this is where the fearless ones come, okay? The ones that walk on water, the ones that reach through fire, okay? You guys remember, or have you ever seen those videos of that? I forget what show it was. It might have been Kung Fu with David Carradine or something like that. A long time ago, right? I've only seen clips of it where he finally graduates. He goes and becomes his Kung Fu training, and he finally graduates, and what he has to do is he has to take his arms and grab this boiling hot steel cauldron and pick it up and then rotate it and put it back down. And when he does that, it burns the imprint of the cauldron, the dragons or whatever, on the inside of his arms. And he picks it up and you hear it sizzling. And I'm sure there was the smell of bacon in the room. But you hear it sizzling. He puts it down, and then he looks, and he has the imprint, the branding of his temple or his kung fu dojo or whatever, burned or seared on the inside of his forearms, and now he's marked as one of these Shaolin monks or whatever. And that's what we're doing here. That's what this is all about. This is about the next 30 days. We're going to sear our forearms to become one of these Shaolin monks. All right, and it doesn't have to do with, you know, I remember you go through them creative writing classes. Y'all ever take those? And the teacher, I mean, always talks about like mapping this and doing that, blah, 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 blah. And sure, there's times when you might want to do that to help refine something, but that's not how you write at all. This is how people who think they know how to write, or people who've read a book on how to write. But that's not how you write. You have to write a completely different way. If you're going to write electricity, if you know, have you ever seen those people from the Appalachians when they make their moonshine? They call it white lightning. They put it in their mason jar. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to catch white lightning in a mason jar here. Okay, that's what we're trying to make here, and that's what the entire entertainment industry chases after, is that white lightning. Okay, that's what they pay billions of dollars for, is that white lightning. And that's what each one of us is capable of becoming, an antenna to receive that white lightning, put it in a jar, and put it out there with our name on it. And that's what we're going to do. So we got, are you stoked? You got the critical eye under control with the impulse control? And then the third thing is, do you got that schedule lined up? Okay. What is your schedule look like? What are you willing to commit to this month for your schedule writing? Okay. What does that mean to you? Does that mean that you ride the bus and instead of scrolling, you're going to go ahead and get out your little notebook here and you're going to write down for 15 minutes on your commute ideas? All right, that's one thing. Does it mean that you're going to maybe find something new to read for 15 minutes every day? That's part of writing too. You got to fill up your cup, okay? Does it mean that maybe you're out there and you're working on a comic book and or a story, and you're working on the story, and so that means you're going to spend 30 minutes a day, ka-chink, 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 on your story. Now, clearly that's writing, right? That's the real deal writing. That's almost at the end product, okay? But whatever it is for you, figure it out and get that schedule in. All right? Don't be overly ambitious and say, oh, I'm going to do 3 hours a day if you've never done 30 minutes, right? Don't do that. You're trying to eat the whole cake at once, and we don't want that. We want little bites. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about what your schedule can be like. You know, maybe it's right before you go to bed. You got your notebook on the bedside table there or whatever, and you're going to pull it down and you're going to write down some things that you found interesting today. Because part of writing is observation, right? We observe what's going on around us in the world, okay? And we take it in. We find little things that are interesting or we're curious about or we're entertained by, okay? Like, for example, the whole thing going on with Steel Toe right now, Aaron Imholt, you know, he just got the 15 days in jail, okay? That's fascinating. So what am I doing? I'm writing down little notes, right? Little notes on here about Aaron Imholt, you know? And, you know, I did a cartoon yesterday from the notes because I'm thinking Aaron Imholt, what would be funny, right? So I did this little drawing, this little writing, this little cartoon. I got the guard right here. I got Schizo Sean TV right here. I got Aaron right here. I got the judge right here. Okay? So then I have a reference to his boxing gym because he's going to get, you know, there's a big history with him in the boxing gym because I've observed this. This is something that I've watched for the past 6 or 8 months through people like Mersh and other people, mainly Mersh, and now Sean and Riley Klippa, young Klippa. And I watch these guys, and I'm fascinated by these characters and what they're going to do next. And I try to see, can I predict what they're going to do next? Do I understand their behavior model of that character? Okay, and then the next step is to write down ideas for the cartoon, put them in the cartoon format. Then I go ahead and develop these ideas and put them in the form of a character, and I put the character in here, you know, to be put maybe in one of my stories, because that's how you catch real life. Okay, so you become curious. You go out there and you find things that entertain you and you're curious about, and you absorb it, and you figure out how to integrate that into your story, and that's how you put real life into your story, and that's what we're going to do. Okay, so there's also a couple of exercises. All right, and we're going to do one of these exercises in a minute. Now, I'm sorry I keep coughing. It's that time of the year again. And we got all that pollen out there, and it's making me cough. You know what I mean, people? And so it catches my breath every once in a while, and it really irritates me. And as you can tell, you know, whatever. Maybe I'll edit this out. Maybe I won't, because that's real life. And I'm trying to put it into my video so that when you watch the video, you're like, this Ray guy, he's a real deal motherfucker. You know what I mean? That's what I want. I don't want to come across all sanitized like I'm some sort of plastic Funko Pop doll. I want to be real, right? Because those little hang-ups, those little issues, those little idiosyncrasies are what connect the bonds of a relationship, okay? And that's what we're doing right here. We're trying to make a relationship over the video, right? Some people call it a parasocial relationship, and that's what it is. But hey, we're talking about the same things. We're going through the same journeys, and we're trying to help each other. And that's what this channel is about. That's what we're all about, okay? So, one of the exercises that I want to talk about, we're going to come down here to number 2. We're going to get these little guys out. Remember these? Your Post-it notes or your little cards or whatever. Okay? And I want you to grab one. Okay? So I got these 3x5 note cards. No big deal. All right? I'm going to grab one. Okay? We're going to take one of these note cards and we're going to pull it out. All right? Now I got the 3x5 note cards because I'm going to use the magnets to put them up, but you know, if you don't have magnets to put them up, use the Post-its, okay? Because you're going to put these up around where you can see them, okay? Now, I want you to get yourself a pen or a marker or something like that. I'm going to reach over here into my magical marker drawer. Okay, I got all these markers over here. I even got some markers over there. I got some markers over here. Okay, I got the Big Daddy markers. I got the medium markers. I got the fine markers. I got the Sharpie markers. You know, all of this is to excite you and to stimulate you, to put you in the mindset of creativity, of excitement, of possibility. That's what all this stuff is. And it's all tangible, okay? Meaning you can touch it. So it does something. It changes your inside, okay? Look at it. Look, oh, I got all these markers. Oh, you know, got all these markers. I'm all excited about it. Now, when you're gonna write or enter the world of creativity, you have to take a couple of deep breaths. And I know it sounds dumb, but put that critical eye back in the hole, because this is how it's done. Take a couple of deep breaths. Okay, put your hands down, just relax. Try to still yourself. Make yourself as still as possible. Relax. And recognize that everything is possible. Everything you're about to do is possible, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna work. It's a playground where there's no consequences, that everything is possible. Okay? Now I want you to grab one of your pen. I want you to think about something. All right? I want you to imagine that you're in an animated movie right now. You're the main character in the animated movie. Okay? And you have a smaller character. It can be anything you want. I want you to think about what it is. It can be anything. I don't really want to say it, because as soon as I say a word, that word's going to pop into your mind, all right? And I'm controlling you then, right? I don't want it to be like that, okay? I want you to think of a supporting character, okay? This character is going to come on the scene, and he's going to deliver a line to you, okay? What's that line going to be, all right? Now, I want you to take your pen, and I want you to draw that character on your card or your Post-it note as best you can. Okay, so I'm gonna do my little character. Okay, and leave room, because he's gonna say the line in the Post-it note. Okay, so I got the Post-it note right here, and I'm just gonna draw a character. Okay, all right. So you draw your character right now too, and of course I got a pin. I gotta throw these pins away. I keep collecting them. I don't know why I keep collecting the sucky ones, but I do. So maybe we'll just go with the medium one. We'll go with the medium one. Anyway, you guys can see the medium one better, so that's better. Oh, yeah, much better. Okay. I love it when the ink flows nice like that. Okay, so we got this guy. And I'm drawing a character. You draw a character too. Draw your character. We got a little character right there. He's coming in, starting to come in right there. Here we go, here we go. A little cartoon character. And, you know, it's okay. It doesn't have to be any kind of way. It can be fun, okay? It's supposed to be fun. This is for you, for your imagination, okay? And I got a character. And he's sitting there. All right, so you draw your character too. Draw them real quick, okay? This isn't supposed to take forever, but if it does take a while, it's fine. And I'm just having a good time drawing my character. Okay, you're just drawing your character too. And what is your character going to say to you? He's going to be supporting. He's supporting you, okay? What is he going to say to you? Or she. It could be he or she. All right, and of course my character is going to say, let's fucking go. So that's what my character is going to say, okay? What's your character saying to you? Okay, so we got him right there. And my character's a little chef mouse. Okay, you see him right there? He's just a little chef mouse. He's saying, let's go, let's cook, let's go. And maybe he has like a little bit of a kitchen behind him. You know, maybe he's got like a pot right here where he's cooking something good. He's getting ready to cook something good. And that's like our story, okay? I'm going to go ahead and put some black in there. I got the ravens out there now blowing around the leaf blower. You guys hear that? Maybe I should have done a raven instead, but there we go. There's my little guy, and he said, let's fucking go. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my little guy right here. Boom. Let's fucking go. Okay? And we're going to put him up on the wall back here. We'll put him right there. So you can see him. Okay? Now, when I say so you can see him, I mean so you can see him. Okay? So take that little character, make him say something, or her say something, or it, whatever it is, and then put it in a place where you're going to see it every day. Okay? Now, when you see that little character, I want you to remember how you felt when you were drawing that character. What we're creating is an emotional touchstone for you as the writer. Okay? And this is what you're going to look at when you're going to start to write, because it's going to instantaneously snap you into that emotional state where your creativity is going to flow. Okay? Now make that character. You got put your character up. You got your notes, right? You got your notebooks, okay? Start using them, okay? Now I can't tell you everything all at once, or so I tell you the whole process right now. That's why I'm going in chunks. It's almost 30 minutes, and I know James is gonna yell at me, okay? Now, I tried to do a live with James yesterday, but I fucked up all of the OBS controls, and I had him going echo, and it was a pain in the ass. And this live streaming thing's a pain in the ass. But I'm gonna regroup. I'm fixing it today, then we're gonna get James back on Thursday, and of course we're gonna do a big announcement. I'm gonna have it all together and all that kind of stuff. Don't worry. Anyway, James, it's almost 30 minutes, so I'm gonna hurry up and get out of here. But that's what I want you guys to do today. Make your character, go through that emotional process, get stoked, critical eye on the whole, lock down your schedule, whatever you think it could be, and take this serious because it's for you. Okay? Take this shit serious. And let's fucking go. Let's kick some ass today. Come on now.